Hello, Kels. I recently seen your video addressing Onision for a few reasons about how he makes his comedy videos, um, and heard about a lot of shit that you had to go through. And honestly, not one single person should have ever have had to have gone through what you went through. And it's just terrible to know that at such a young age, not only did you have a son, but at such a young age you also, at any age to lose a child it's gotta be heartbreaking. I've never personally had a kid, but I I can't. I could only imagine how heartbreaking that could have been for you. And Greg has to take into account that everybody is different. Everybody has their own story to not particularly like his videos. And at the same time, he also has to take into account the age group of each child. And one of the reasons behind why he posts videos like that, yeah, it's about comedy. To him, it's fucking sick. It's not comedy, but for him, he uses it as comedy. And one of the reasons why he has it up on YouTube is not just that, but when Take Shot Action and myself brought this to his attention during our debates with Greg, he basically would say, well, if it's okay to be on, or if YouTube leaves it on, then it must be okay to be on YouTube. We all know that's a load of shit. It all depends on if somebody were to flag it. Like, if I was to make a very heinous and disturbing video, right, it would stay up on YouTube so as long as nobody flagged it. And the reason being that those videos are probably still up is just because of who he is to them and how much money he brings in via his account. I agree wholeheartedly that he should, if he's not gonna ever stop doing whatever he's doing, he should at least do the responsible thing and put triggering in the title. Because you can't be the only one that went through all the triggering and all the regressing from your past because of his videos. You can't be the only one. And to think that that is probably true disgusts me. And even if he can't age restrict the videos according to him, he has the power to change the titles in his videos. And when you put up content, you need to be responsible about your content. He has a lot of different reasons to be responsible. Being the age bracket of his subscribers, who's possibly out there watching his videos. He has a lot of things to be responsible for. Not just for the not just for the sake of his channel, but for the sake of other people that watch him. And I had my own personal issues with Greg because of the content that he makes. One of the reasons of me not liking him was because of the content that he makes. In my last channel, M22 Frogger, I made a video called Self-Injury and Depression, My Story. And it was an explanation on a little bit of an explanation on why I didn't like Greg's self-injury videos and depression videos, to which videos that I made about his shit. And in that video I talk about my own issues with my father and the kind of abuse that he would put all of us through back when I was younger. And a few other things, including my bouts with self-injury. I even showed my scars at the end of the video, and I dabbled into the events that happened in 2012, where I became suicidal multiple times throughout the year, and I spoke about certain individuals that I met while living in Texas. This happened when I was living in Texas. I had moved from Staten Island, New York to Texas for a year to live with my mom and my stepdad, and there I went to school in Dallas, the Art Institute of Dallas. And it was through certain people that helped me get over a few things that I had going for me. Even now, I still have slight issues with my depression. I still have anxiety issues. I mean, a good example of that, I don't know if you can see right here, but that is a bad habit that I always had going for me. Up until about a year ago, I didn't know that there was an actual name for it. It's dermatillomania. It's very similar to trichotillomania, where that's hair pulling, well, that's skin picking. And it's sort of, one, it's just like an OCD habit, and at the same time I do that when I'm very anxious, nervous, and, so, I mean, I used to have anxiety problems that, I would actually get woken up from, and his videos about how to deal with depression, where depression comes from, self-injury, it struck a chord with me on many different frequencies, many different levels. So I know where you're coming from, at least in some form or fashion. I may not have had a child, but a few things that he would do, a few videos that he would make, triggered me to make my videos about it. And he has a really nasty habit of doing stupid shit that he has to wind up be accountable for. And he has responsibilities that he needs to take into context. He needs to consider these responsibilities. We can only hope that he's seen your video and will take that into consideration. Because depending on what he does in the future, it could trigger somebody to self-injure. It could trigger somebody into being depressed. And you were a perfect example of just what the fuck his content can do to somebody. And personally, I just feel so terrible for you. And I'm really glad, though, to know that you're doing okay. And that, even you went through all these hardships, and you're still standing on your 2 feet. Honest to God, that is the best thing. I mean, I'm sure, you wish that none of these instances happened to you, and in such a short period of time. But, what matters now is that you're standing on your own 2 feet. You're still alive. You have people surrounding you that love you. And I know very well, because you're a survivor, I know very well that, yeah, you did go through hell. I know very well that you definitely will never, ever go back there. Because you know how to not be there now. And the fact that you're a lot better now. I may not have watched a lot of your videos. In fact, since this video, no offense, I didn't watch your videos, but I subscribed. I subscribed to you. And I gotta say, even though I don't really know much on you, I am very, very proud of you. From one survivor to another. And I really hope, as much as you do, that Greg watches your video and deeply takes that into consideration. This has been James, M22 Frogger, and I really hope that you have a nice week. Take care.